Ubisoft Ghost Recon Wildlands is exploding on Steam right now? What is going on? Ed Smith, PC Games N. I don't know. Ghost Recon Wildlands and its sequel, Breakpoint, are very similar to the other Ubisoft open world monoliths, like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, and to a lesser extent, The Division. You're free to explore a gigantic map. It's split into countries and biomes, and your job is to take them over one by one, eliminating a series of lieutenants and captains as you kill your way to the top of a criminal empire. But the Ghost Recon reboots have one unique, brilliant central idea. Years after they launched, they're suddenly surging on Steam and available cheaper than ever. And if you never tried Ghost Recon Wildlands or Ghost Recon Breakpoint before, now is definitely the time. Dude, Wildlands is still the better game. Calling it now. Ghost
Based on my slight and blurry memories from years ago now, I think I agree with you there. But Breakpoint has had a long time to turn around as well.
Yes, it has, but still, Wildlands is still better. Ghost Recon Wildlands is a squad shooter and open world game that, for the most part, feels pretty familiar. You can customize your approach to each mission, hijack vehicles to navigate its fictional version of Bolivia, and order your squad to complete various tactics. At its best, it feels like a third-person version of the superlative of, oh man, rest in peace, the old school Rainbow Six, dude, right? Like, that's just what it comes down to. It's so
old school Rainbow Six Vegas. Oh man, I don't know if you spent a huge amount of time in Vegas, but that was probably a couple hundred hours of my life.
Yeah, Rainbow Six back in the day, man, the map would pop up, you would plan your route, you send one squad one way, another squad one way, and you go your way. Oh man, I tell you. Then you get to go Alpha, they bust in the door. Go Delta, they bust in the other side.
Hey,
you come
remember Advanced Warfighter and how they had the camera? You could see your teammate's camera on the corner of your... Whatever happened to that? That was a great system.
Oh, man.
I want to see that in multiplayer.
Yeah. The silliness of Far Cry 5 and 6 is absent here, and the riding tires, underline, is to be more serious and dramatic. There is one moment in Ghost Recon Wildlands, however, that makes it stand out above any of its rivals. I maintain that a good gun, a good shooting mechanic, and some kind of distinctive combat gimmick can save an otherwise rot shooter. Doom 2 is bad. God. Ooh. Dude, I didn't see that one coming.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yo, everybody back up. But it has this...
Bad has to be a relative term at this point.
But it has the super shotgun. So enough said. Fear is the perfectly standard, mostly gray FPS, but the enemy AI and the extremely bloody bullet time elevate it into a shooter history. Wildlands and Breakpoint are similarly redeemed by one distinctive movement, the visionary sync shot, which is absolutely outstanding. Dude, I love it. Absolutely love it. When scouting an enemy position, you can tag the oblivious bad guys in numerical order, assigning each of your special forces team a different head to pop. Once everyone has moved into position and confirmed they have a clear line of sight, you press a single button to execute the order and watch as an entire outpost falls down dead to the always gratifying thunk of suppressed rifles. Unless you're Steve from the show, then you take the suppressor off. Call yeah, Steve. I'm calling you, buddy.
There's a call out. Shout out, Steve.
Wildlands and Breakpoint are worth playing for the moment alone, and now they're on sale for the cheapest price ever. As a result, they're blowing up on Steam. The Wildlands concurrent player count has jumped from 1,000 to more than 10,000 players, and Breakpoint has reached a new record number of simultaneous... What? A new record number of 12,613. If you want to check them out, well, now's your time. It's weird to see them just make a resurgence out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's really strange that it's happening all at once, these two games. Is this because... there's a few factors I'm thinking of. Number one is that X-Defiant is upon us. Yeah. It's out there, it's in the wild, and it's getting more people, I think, day by day. So that's maybe causing a bit of a spin-off interest into some of the other IPs that Ubisoft owns, but other than that, I had to do a little bit of digging. There does seem to have been a rumor that there is going to be a new Ghost Recon in 2025.
I don't know,
But
Scott.
this
Really?
does remain only a rumor, although the rumor was addressed to one Tom Henderson. So
Yeah, which is normally
there's
valid.
some weight there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
normally valid there, but the details about this one were a return to the regular mode, the first-person shooter of old from 20 years ago, Ghost Recon.
Which is not my preferred style, right? When we get into Wildlands, we get into Breakpoint, got that third-person perspective, which then switches when you aim down sights, right? When you go pull up your ADS, then it changes. So for me, crap is kind of how I feel about moving forward into the next one. I remember when they came out with Ghost Recon Frontline, they showed the trailer, quickly backpedaled over at Ubisoft and said, nope, we're scrapping this. Yeah, it didn't go over very well. I was really hoping for the next iteration of where they were going to build off of Breakpoint. Wildlands, like I said, still my go-to. Dude, Mercenary modes came out. Scott, did you ever play that?
No, I didn't actually.
Man,
I'm
so
realizing
good.
though, this rumor about Ghost Recon does make sense if it fits into the larger Ubisoft formula. What they're doing now, they're kind of taking their established IPs, kind of rolling them back to the origin story and trying it again, the way Assassin's Creed has kind of gone back to smaller city and the like. So I'm wondering if this really does have some credence to it. We'll get more of that kind of smaller area, no towers to climb to open up the map, no outposts. Let's do away with that.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see where they're going to take Ghost Recon next, right? Because they did when they brought in Frontline, the trailer, they showed the trailer, and it was a first-person perspective, and everybody's like, whoa, we just had the last two games go third-person, changed it up completely. Breakpoint had this bit of a survival aesthetic to it, which was really, really cool. You went hardcore mode, man, like you had to make sure you lined up your shots perfectly. Your healing was like at another level. And if you got pinned in the leg, dude, you're like, now you're dragging your leg behind you. It was, but it's so good if you're looking for that hardcore survival experience, I guess I would say, for a Ghost Recon game, right? Let me just preface that with for a Ghost Recon game. But it was really cool. Wildlands is still my preferred style. I had a great time. Used to hang out there with buddies and just played the crap out of it. And then they brought out Mercenary mode, which was this 8-person little mini battle royale, which was awesome. It was more battle royale, more like an extraction shooter, I would say, somewhere like a mix of the two, right? So it was really super cool. Had a ton of fun playing that. And then when we got into Breakpoint, it was really broken at the beginning. They fixed it. I jumped in not too long ago, and man, the gunplay is just, there's nothing like the gunplay for me, and it just clicks, right? Everything just feels good. So when we move next into whatever we're getting into when it comes to Ghost Recon after Breakpoint and going first person, now I'm a little nervous, Scott. I'm a little nervous, man, to be honest, right? Because I just had everything clicks so well for the last 2 games after all the fixes with Breakpoint that it's kind of just, I'm waiting for the next one. And to change that whole perspective, I know sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Dude, take a look at Prince of Persia, right? The last 2 Prince of Persia games, one, The Lost Crown, went side-scroller. Then we get into the Rogue Prince of Persia, side-scroll again, but now it's a rogue-like experience. Like, we got 2 different completely games, 2 different games, and they're great.
Again, a rollback to originals, though.
Right?
That's how the Prince of Persia began.
Yeah, so I guess time will tell. We'll see if they can pull me in. I'm sure they will. I love Ghost Recon, so Ghost Recon has always been a staple for me to play back in the day, and we'll see if we can kind of keep it going. Ubisoft, please. I don't know. We'll see. But the fact that people are jumping now into Breakpoint and Wildlands, are they going to be disappointed when they announce the next Ghost Recon game, Scott?
No, that's an interesting point. Yeah, if people are getting all warmed up on these third person, that could be a shock.
Absolutely. We want to hear from you. ITGTV.com. Have you played any of the Ghost Recon games? And, well, which one's your favorite?